So this is our friend Carolyn, and Carolyn is a longtime friend and client of David and I, and she brought her violin Luna to us while we're here so he can make sure Luna is doing very well while she's been busy playing this summer for camps and things. She brought us the most special gift, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous mango. This mango comes from a tree on her property that is over 60 years old, and it was planted by her dad. That's amazing. I mean, this mango is very special to me. I almost don't want to eat it. I wish I could bronze it. So, thank you so much for bringing us such a special gift, Carolyn. We will treasure it.
Eat it in good health.
What was the type of mango you said the name of it?
It's a Hayden. H-A-Y-D-E-N.
Can you still get that type of mango? Okay,
Yeah,
so they
still have them here.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So you have that one tree in your yard that your dad planted. That's incredible. That's, what a story. Look at that delicious mango. Oh, it's gonna be tasty. Thank you, JP. That is a jasmine quinoa rice with a roasted red pepper and a grilled salmon with a coconut mango basil curry on top with some cashews in there too. This is a pre-cut bridge blank for a cello. It is made of hard maple wood cut diagonally to the grain. Like the way a loaf of bread is sliced, that's the reason for the dots on the front and back of the bridge. Typically, the wood is aged for over 20 years on a finer quality wood bridge blank. There are different widths at the feet according to the sound table, and they have to be fitted to the exact shaping of the instrument by carving them precisely. Here, David is showing his luthier apprentices how to carve a bridge on a student instrument. The top of the bridge where the strings rest must also be precisely fitted to allow for the string projection from the fingerboard, and the height of the arch has to be adjusted for resonance by tapering and thinning out for the resonance of the instrument. The top curvature tilt is adjusted for each player's preference. The heart, kidneys, hip wings, and arms are also carved for flexibility to help the resonance. Too thick or too thin will mute the instrument's sound and can also create other playing issues or structural problems too. A carefully fitted professional quality cello bridge takes about a couple of hours of carving and adjustments to make. And seeing our happy clients when they receive their newly refreshed instruments is very rewarding for David and I. Plus, we never know what fun and exciting things we'll encounter through our amazing clients.
And that was my grandfather's name, Chauncey Jerome Bailey. And I asked other relatives in Ohio, because that's where they had been born, and I said, did the people get named after clocks? And he said, yes.
What?
People got...
And my other grandfather named himself C.K. Patterson after a clock.
Oh my
There was something else like that. So, yeah.
Well,
Wow.
it's such an invention, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
and this was
it's magnificent.
1820 or 40 or something.
Beautiful.
And we found a
piece.
really nice, a really good clock.
Oh,
That's cool.
look at that.
Side. What the cigar brand was.
Mhm.
On this side, you can see what it. They were used a lot by the black community in these various neighborhoods because they didn't have access to violins, so they just made their own instruments along with washboards, and not even contact the folk art museum in there's nothing in here. I will say I am thrilled with my cello, its repairs, its new pegs, and this has just been a wonderful experience.
Oh, well, this has been a great experience for David and I too, getting to see this wonderful home and all your instruments that you've shown us today. And we've had a great time meeting you. I haven't met you yet.
Well, we are
it's
meeting.
wonderful.
We are meeting.
They
The first
have-
of many.
They have amazing antiques here. The clocks. I could spend all day looking at their treasures. So thank you for sharing it with us.
Well, thank you.
And
This
I
has
hope
been
you
fun.
enjoy your
Oh,
cello.
I'll
She's
be in hiding
beautiful.
all day long.
That
You won't see me until supper.
could be a good thing or a bad thing. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was expecting nothing. She said, my grandpapa survived the Holocaust. And so she started the whole story. I said, just bring it over and tell me the whole story. So once she brings it over, I open it up. It's a beautifully made Genoa violin maker. So I open it up. They had left it in an attic. And the whole varnish,
You left it in the attic, or they had?
they left it in the attic for almost 20 years. And so what happened to the varnish is all crumbled up. And she said, I want you to restore the varnish. The front was worse than the rest of the instrument, so I said, it's gonna take a long time. She said, do whatever you need to do, just we want Grandpapa's violin to be back and we want to display it. And then she showed me the journals.
Oh.
So they were in Italy when the Nazis were coming in, and so they were they were fleeing. So they took all their stuff, and he took the violin, one of the first things that he took, and they ran to the train. And as he was running to the train, he fell. And his 3 fingers, left hand, he lost his 3 fingers. And so he just bounded up, and he kept running. They didn't get in the train. They just kept running. They never stopped. So they went from Italy all along the border into Africa. They went all the way around Africa, all the way back to Spain, and then back to Italy. By the time they got back to Italy, the war was over, and Italy was still kind of messed up, but they were able to go back to their home. And he couldn't play ever again. But the instrument stayed in their family for the rest, of their life. So they kept passing it, of course. Her sister had it, and then she said, we need to do something with Grandpapa's violin. And so when she brought it, they had already had it for a few years, and I said, yeah, sure, we'll make it back to as close as it was, when it was made. And so it took a long time to just get down to the varnish that was usable, and then try to figure out the same formula and the same colors to bring it up. And so we got it. She came to pick it up, and she said, that's what I remember. It was so shiny. Just like when he first had it. And since then they put it in an urn, and with all his diaries and stuff. So you go to her house, and she has a whole table, and
memorial kind of.
Yeah. And I said, that instrument has to be played. It's a very fine instrument. So once in a while, she gets someone from the church to play for a church service. So it's kind of appropriate,
It's a shame to take something as good as that and just make it into a hanger.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, after being around so many different clients and people, it's refreshing to see people that appreciate their own family's heirloom or heritage, because it's more common that people just want to get rid of something.
Yeah.
They don't have any.
They rather have their money.
Yeah.
Okay? Which I understand both parts of it. All of it. I guess the city considers the whole state a city, but
That's the clock. Oh, I love that
So you
sound.
only get one right.
Oh, we were hoping the other one's ready for one.
Oh, wow. That's
Election
awesome.
clock.
And
Your grandfather's clock.
it's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
And that bass was amazing. He had been in a fire, so when he went, someone told him the story and said, "Look, this instrument was in Hungary, and again, the Nazis were coming and they were running everybody, and so this guy took his bass and really strapped it to his back,
A bass.
a bass, and so the rest of the family said, you literally have a target on your back."
Yeah.
So he found a barn where he could hide the bass, and he said, I'm gonna come back for it. And they went running. He moved to the United States with his family, but he never went back to get the bass. So he told a member of his family, I think it was a nephew, the story, and he's like, well, where is it? And he was able to tell them, if it's still there, this is where you can find it. They found the bass.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
found
since
it.
chills up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still there with the same family, so he's like, well, that's my uncle's bass, and I'd like to take it back to him. So they got it back to the United States.
Wow.
He passed away, stayed in the family, ended up in a violin shop, but still they were telling the story because you could see they did bomb nearby and the barn was on fire, but it didn't burn the base.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
It,
The base survived
movie.
even the fire.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And so you see the crackling due to the
Yeah.
heat.
Yeah.
And so my client said, I would like to restore it. And I said, I would never touch it. I can touch the structural things, make it playable, fix the cracks. But as far as restoring the varnish, you want to keep that story alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said you
Yes.
never want to. One thing, if negligence, you left it in an attic. That's one thing. But
Part of
that
the
tells
character.
story, you know, you want
Yeah.
to preserve that story. And he said, I'm going to bring it to you. I'm going to bring it. How much is this going to cost? And I said, don't be concerned about the looks. You want to leave it exactly the way. But it had a lot of cracks. And so, I mean, the restoration, you have to take it all apart and glue everything. And the base takes a
Oh
whole
my
room
gosh,
to
yeah,
restore.
bases,
I mean, it's
oh my
just, and I said, I don't have this space right now. I was working on 2 other bases. I said, bring it back. And then they decided to do a restoration in their house, in addition to their house. That was the end of the project. He's still trying to find
His wife is actually trying to get him to get rid of.
instruments.
He has like 4 or 5 bases,
Yeah.
so.
Like,
But at least
something's
he's
gotta
taking
go.
care. Yeah.
Right. And I said, but not that bass. You can't. He said, no, I don't
No.
want to get rid of that bass. And so you shouldn't. It's just a story.
Yeah.
When someone buys it, you need to tell the story. Write it down. Make sure that
Yeah.
you know, the provenance is preserved. Even if it's not that great of a bass, it doesn't matter. It
It's
tells the story.
amazing.
Exactly.
This one's about John Mercer Langston, who was an outstanding American who's not very well known, and he ought to be. He was the first black congressman from Virginia, and an early lawyer, and graduate of Oberlin College. And his father was a white plantation owner, and and his mother was a freed slave. So life was a challenge, and very, very interesting story. And this is book 7 in my children's series. And because we were talking circuses, there's a little circus theme in here. And also the Ballet of the Elephants from the Ringling. I talk about that, and the picture, they gave me permission to use a picture of the actual Ballet of the Elephants. And I think Stravinsky wrote the music for that. And so it's kind of fun. My kids always had backyard circuses, and so for the kids who like the series, it's a backyard circus trying to get kids to use their imagination and do fun things. So
We are looking forward to
Captain
reading those
Calliope
books.
and the Great Goatinis.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
All right.
We're looking forward to seeing and reading those
Okay,
books,
and I
Linda.
look forward to Chuckle the
Now, if anybody wanted to actually get these books
thing in on Amazon.
on Amazon, okay, we can see if we can put a link
there
or
are
something
11
to them.
books in the Bailey Fish Adventure series. This is on there, and some of the other books I've written too. So.
Oh, that's great.